In this video, I'm going to tell you why frustration is probably the jet fuel, the biggest ignition that you need to motivate yourself to go to that next level and push your fitness beyond anything you've ever done before. The reason why I'm wearing these crazy gloves and why you might be thinking he's absolutely mental, he's lost his mind, is because they are true inspiration for me. These gloves represent something called a marigold moment. And for what a marigold moment means to me, and what you will be learning about today, is that they represent like when you feel the most frustrated, when you are the most annoyed, disgusted, in pain with yourself, with the actions that you are taking, all of these negative things that you start thinking about your life, about how you are, it's when it reaches the pinnacle. And when it reaches that pinnacle of, you know, you are in so much disappointment with yourself that you either do one of two things. And number one, you either completely evade it and you just think, you know what, I'm just really, you know, I can't, this is just who I am. This is how I'm meant to be, and I just accept that, and you just live your life, and then next year you'll feel exactly the same thing and you'll go through that same process. Or you will decide to take action. You would say, that's it. Never again will I be in this situation. Never again will I allow myself to get to this stage. That's when you take control. And why these mean something to me is because when I reached that point, it was a pretty low point. Overweight, sleeping until 11 AM on a weekday. This was not a great time in my life. I slept until 11 AM on a weekday, and you know the routine. You open up the covers, you slowly get out of bed, you actually contemplate for a moment whether or not you do want to get out of bed. The only reason why you do is because you're hungry. So you go downstairs in your boxers and you just start eating and eating and eating. One day, as I'm standing there cleaning the bowl with my marigolds on, which is where this comes from, I'm standing there cleaning the bowl in boxers with marigolds, and all of a sudden you look up and you catch a reflection of yourself. Now this is a moment where it's like a bitch slap straight across the face from reality, telling you this is who you are right now. You're waking up late, you're walking around in your boxers without a purpose, you are overweight, you need to make a change, or this is how you're going to spend the next 10 years. For me, when I was in that moment and you have that realization and you see yourself for who you truly are, not in a filtered, or when you're in a group photo, you sort of stick your chest up and suck your stomach in. Not one of those. In those true moments where you catch your real reflection, that's when you have to say to yourself, is this the life I want to live? Do you want to be a role model for someone, for your children, for your family, for your friends? Because what example are you setting for them? In that moment, you feel so much anger, so much pain, so much frustration for allowing this to happen, because you have to take ownership. Nothing works unless you do, and until you take ownership, until you say, I am responsible for where I am today, that's when you have the power to take action. And you use that frustration. Use it like a fire. So there's a great scene from Rocky number 5. It's probably the best scene in Rocky 5 by all means. I know it's an awful film, but Rocky 5, when Rocky's talking to Tommy Gunn, and he says to him, inside you have a fire. And when you're fearful, when you're being faced on, and you don't know what to do, and you're feeling anxious, all of these emotions are bubbling up inside you. You either take that fire and you use it to focus you, to burn hot, to fire you up, to drive you to achieve your ultimate goal, or you let it burn you up. You can either have that frustration and use that as jet fuel and say to yourself, never again will this be me. Never again will I allow myself to get this way. Or you can say, you can just let it override you. You can become a victim in this situation. You can start blaming other people. I don't have the time to work out. Eating healthy is expensive. You could look at it that way. Yes, it's not the cheapest thing in the world. However, you could look at it the other way. Is eating healthy expensive, or is it cheap to dig yourself into a grave? These are the questions I want you to answer. Everything that you do is all about getting yourself closer to or further away from your goals. Now, I want you to use your marigold moment, use those moments of frustration, use every pain that you feel about why you haven't achieved where you want to be, and use it as jet fuel. Use it to explode the action inside of you, to build momentum so you can start achieving. If you haven't reached that moment yet, if you're sitting there thinking, well, I haven't really had that moment of frustration yet, my life's not that bad, but I do want to make a change. Well, if you do want to make a change and you're just sort of sitting on the fence, then you need something to spark you over. You need a decision to happen. So you can take this moment to reflect on your life. The easiest way to do that, and one of the best things you can do, is get a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, and on the right hand side, write out everything you want to be. Write out who the ideal version of yourself is and what they are doing with their life. Once you have written out all of that list, and I'm talking about how much time you're spending working out, how much time you're spending with your family, doing the things that you love to do, the work you're kind of doing, how much you enjoy life, all of these things on the right hand side. Once you've finished that list, and really take your time to think about this, on the left hand side, write out where you are now. And if you're still not frustrated by the end of that list and seeing how far away you are from the other side, then you're either doing the right things already, or we've got a lot more work to do and you need to have that honest reflection of yourself. If you found this useful, please let me know, and let me know what your list is actually. I'd be very interested to see how far away or close to you are from achieving the ideal version of yourself. Have a great day, guys. Speak to you soon.